Honkai Star Rail is finally ours to savor right down to every stunning detail, and the fanbase is nothing but hyped. We already know what the limited banners are in version 1.0, so let's address the elephant in the room. Which limited banner 5-star should you pull for with your precious premium currency? Version 1.0 is split into two halves, each having their own unique limited banner with their limited 5-star units and different 4-star units. Since this game is brand new, only the HoYo gods know when these two will get a rerun, so you need to make your decision now. This is why we will take you through a character comparison journey and enlighten you. This butterfly is the first limited 5-star character of Star Rail, and she will reap your fragile heart after you spend everything on her. Seele is of the Hunt path, corresponding to Aeon Lamb. She specializes in dishing out major single target damage, making her a selfish DPS unit who just gobbles up all the support buffs. Her element is Quantum, and this is primarily used to take advantage of enemy weaknesses. She is also one of the only O2 Quantum units currently available to us, alongside King Kuei. Seele is a particularly speedy character who benefits a lot from the speed stat. Her kit is as follows. Basic attack, Thwok, a single target attack that deals quantum damage equal to 50% of Seele's attack to a single enemy. Skill, Sheathed Blade, a single target attack that deals quantum damage equal to 110% of Seele's attack to a single enemy. She gains 25% SPD for 2 turns. Ultimate, Butterfly Flurry, a single target attack that buffs her and deals quantum damage equal to 240% of her attack to a single enemy. Talent, Resurgence, an enchantment that buffs Seele upon defeating an enemy and gives her an extra action. In this state, her damage increases by 40% for 1 turn. Enemies defeated by the extra action will not trigger another. Technique, Phantom Illusion, an enchantment that gives Seele stealth for 20 seconds. While active, she cannot be detected by enemies. When she attacks to trigger combat, she immediately enters the buffed state. Eidolons are the equivalent of constellations in this game, obtained when you receive multiple copies of Seele. We don't need to go into detail over these, because those are for whales, but they do bestow Seele with more damage and speed. Remember that Seele is a high impact burst DPS, who deals high damage over a short period of time. As such, her kit mainly focuses on crit, speed, and attack. Armed with plenty of attacks, speed, crit rate, crit damage, and quantum damage, she can function as your main DPS unit. Why should you choose Seele? She is a waifu, enough said. Seriously, if she is your waifu, just pull straight away. She currently has the highest single target damage potential in Star Rail. She is decent in AoE damage thanks to her skills, making her a more universal DPS. She can lunge from enemy to enemy and clear entire waves. Has solid free-to-play light cones and relic sets from the onset. Why should you skip Seele? Unless you're a whale or extremely lucky, the chances of Seele coming home are low. She doesn't have the greatest AoE. There are far better wave clearers in the game. She will need some dedicated supports to really shine, the best being Bronya. She is low on HP and defense, functioning like a glass cannon, so you will require some heals and shields on board. You want a husbando? Say no more. Look beyond and you might see the thundering beast. Star Rail saved the ideal husbando for the second half of version 1.0. Do not let the Quantum Queen tempt you if you want this daddy. Jing Yuan is the general of the Xianzu's Alliance's Cloud Knights and one of the 6 charioteers of the Lo Fu. Jing is a tall husbando of the Erudition path, corresponding to the Eon News. This path excels in dishing out loads of multi-target AoE damage. His element is lightning, which actually has a high number of characters under its belt. So what does he have going for him? Daddy Jing is a super strong DPS unit with incomparable crowd control and utility. The biggest seller, however, is his gigantic persona, Lightning Lord, which attacks right alongside him. Thanks to his behemoth, Jing can deal deadly damage even in between turns. He will benefit a lot from crit damage and crit rate, which ought to be maintained at a ratio of 2:1. Since his stand deals so much damage, we recommend stacking lightning damage, energy recharge, and attack to balance the equation. Unlike Seele, Jing isn't necessarily that selfish as a DPS. His skills are as follows. Basic attack, Glistening Light, a single target attack that deals lightning damage equal to 50% of Jing's attack to a single enemy. Skill, Rifting Zenith, an AoE attack that deals lightning damage equal to 50% of Jing's attack to all enemies, and increases Lightning Lord's attack count by 2 for the next run. Ultimate, Lightbringer. If this ult animation doesn't amaze you, I don't know what will. An AoE attack that deals lightning damage equal to 120% of Jing's attack to all enemies, and increases Lightning Lord's attack count by 3 for the next turn. Talent, Prana Extirpated, an AoE attack that summons the Lightning Lord at the start of the battle. The Lord has 60 base speed and 3 base attack count, and its moves are considered as follow-up attacks. Each count of its attack deals lightning damage equal to Jing's attack to a single enemy, whose adjacent targets also receive lightning damage equal to 25% of the damage dealt to the main target. Technique, Command Talisman, an enchantment that follows after using Jing's technique. The Lightning Lord's attack count in the first turn increases by 2 at the start of the next battle. Similar to Seele, you don't really need Eidolons on this hunk of a man. If you do get them, sleep well knowing that both Jing and the Lord now have much higher damage. Notable Husbando pros. He is the ultimate Husbando in Star Rail 1.0. Until newer units arrive, it is all him. He is the highest damage AoE DPS unit in version 1.0. He does decent damage to single units as well, making him a welcome addition to almost any team comp. The Lord will follow up almost all of Jing's attacks and deal massive AoE collateral, and they will look cool AF doing it. He works well with free-to-play light cones and relics. Unfortunate that he can't. While you'll have a lot more wishes by the time Jing comes to town, it still will not guarantee him. His single target damage isn't much. There are better alternatives if you are up against a lone standing boss. Daddy doesn't need as many supports, but it's highly recommended that you have 1 or 2. Tingyun would be ideal. Quite the slow unit. His speed is kinda low, but his HP and defense stats are far better than Seele's. Forget the husbandos and embrace the waifus, your pick should be Seele. If you get a Bronya too, you are set. Thus concludes this video on which limited 5-star character you should pull in version 1.0 of Honkai Star Rail. By now, you should have a good idea of what both Seele and Yuan have to offer, as well as what they're lacking in compared to each other. I think it's also important to point out that Yuan's banner has the better 4-star units, but that's another topic altogether. Anyway, thank you for watching.